last speaker. So let's begin with the Mozammel. Okay. He's from Vantage, and what's your position?
Development team manager.
Talking about Scrum, or you changed?
Okay, first, like I have a presentation of you. Obviously, there are like very experienced ones over here who know a lot more than me about Scrum. I'm actually a Scrum enthusiast, and I'm just starting it with my company over here at Vantage. Some of you already know that we are just started over in Bangladesh. So I will get into the point, but first, I just want to show hands. Like, how many of you over here use Scrum in your daily development team? Can you just please see hands? Okay, so I have a good audience. Maybe this will be useful for like not so experienced one with Scrum, and for those experienced, maybe the QA session will be more appropriate. So this is actually what a typical Scrum looks like. Like Scrum literally means like those football, the American football, they do the Scrum thing. Okay, but what is Scrum in terms of software development? It is a skeleton process that includes a set of practices and predefined roles. What are the roles? The main roles are the Scrum Master. His job is actually maintains the process and works similar to a project manager. The product owner represents the stakeholders of the project, users and the like investors and everything. And the team, obviously, the developers in the broader term, not in a shorter term. I'm very careful about that. So it's a very quick diagram, like how the Scrum process works. We have the product backlog. I will go through it in very like this a little bit later on. From the product backlog, we get sprint backlog. Sprint is, you can think it about iteration, like in the agile development process. And you can go for 30-day sprint or a 15-day sprint. Both are typically used in IT firms. And like incrementally, you develop your software like that. Okay, now Scrum roles. Scrum roles can be defined into two groups. There's a little story. I just read the story aloud. A pig and a chicken are walking down the road. The chicken looks at the pig and says, "Hey, why don't we open a restaurant?" The pig looks back at the chicken and says, "Good idea. What do you want to call it?" The chicken thinks about it and says, we can call it ham and eggs. And pig says, "I don't think so. Why? I would be committed, but you would be only involved." So that means, like in Scrum process, there are two roles: pigs and chickens. Chickens are, like not that too much involved with the project, but obviously they are important. But pigs are really committed to the project. Okay, what are the roles of the pigs? Pigs are the ones committed to the project and the Scrum process. Who are the pigs? The product owner, the Scrum Master, and the team. They are basically the pigs. And the chickens roles are also part, like of the Scrum process. But who are the chickens? The users, the stakeholders, managers, who are not directly committed to the project itself, but they are obviously involved with the project. The Scrum process usually has, like Scrum meetings, the daily Scrum meetings, and in the daily Scrum meetings, each day, like they start the Scrum meeting on a certain, certain preset time, and like in the Scrum meeting, everybody is welcome, but only the pigs may speak. The people who are really committed to the project may speak, but the chicken may only listen. Okay, what do they speak about? The team shares what have you done yesterday? What are you planning today, tomorrow? And is there any blocking issue that is stopping you to do your work? And in Scrum process, they maintain some very few documents like the product backlog. It contains the broad descriptions of all the required features, wish lists and items, everything. And the sprint backlog, detailed document containing information about how the team is going to implement the requirements for the upcoming sprint. And the burn down chart. Burn down chart is actually a graphical representation of work left to do versus time. here is a sample example of a burn-term chart, just to let you know how we can measure how the team is progressing or not. And you can not necessarily need to use Scrum only for IT development. Scrum has extended use other than IT use. It's for example, I have another identity. Many of you already know me as a photographer. So that team I also manage it through Scrum process, and it's really showing good progress. So that's my presentation. I have experience from previously. I can finish it within 5 minutes. I know there might be some questions about Scrum process and everything. So let's go to the Q session.
You ruined the fun. Okay. Mozammel was here last time as well. He's the second time that he's presenting basically like his talks. He's also a photographer and a big team of photographers. Good. So are you the pig or the chicken?
IT and chicken and
okay. Questions?
Okay. In Scrum, we define the sprint, right?
Yeah.
So suppose I have 4 sprints. I started a sprint, and tomorrow is my deadline.
Okay.
And unfortunately, today I discovered that I cannot finish this sprint. So what should I do? Should I start the next sprint, or I should complete this sprint first?
As I said, I'm not an expert in Scrum. I'm just starting. But to my idea, I can share that. Is it you just came to know that tomorrow is your deadline just after coming to office, or you know it earlier?
Before you define sprint, you know what's the deadline, right?
Yeah. Before I do my sprint, I know when will be my sprint review time, if you mean that by deadline. Like in Scrum, what you do, you plan your sprint and say after 2 weeks or 30 days you give your sprint review, and during that sprint you can say sprint review is your deadline, where you can meet your stakeholders, and obviously the team contributes what they have done and shows it to the stakeholders. Yeah, of course, if you call that the deadline, yeah, the deadline for that particular sprint, it might be after 2 weeks or 4 weeks. It depends on project to project and team to team.
So there is another thing, the retrospective. You didn't tell about that.
Sorry?
Retrospective. After each sprint.
Yeah, retrospective. Yeah. Sprint retrospective.
So, can you tell about something?
Yeah, after the sprint review, what the Scrum team does, I missed that part actually, is they look back at the previous sprint and they try to figure out what could they have been doing better to optimize their way of work, and so that they can better communicate with each other and be more productive, get more work done in the next sprint. So that's the sprint sprint retrospective.
I think this is very important actually.
Obviously, yeah. I missed that part. Thanks for reminding me. Scrum, it might happen. Chicken can give you a good idea. Don't you think? From his experience, he can share something. Yeah, from his experience, he can share something. But most of the time, what happens is a chicken comes into the team. He's not committed to the project. The Scrum teams are not with not skilled people. If you the first basis of creating a good Scrum team is to find the very bright people and who are very energetic to work. Scrum works very well with real skilled people and energetic people. So if the team is totally committed, then that chicken should be in the team. Whether he is in team or out of the team. The team is self-organized and self-sufficient to take their own decision, so that they don't need to be managed. So if the chicken needs to tell something, they can obviously say something during the sprint review time, but not in daily meeting. That actually hampers the daily sprints and the daily development process of the whole team.
Someone said type is a one way. So I can add Scrum also one way. Only serious
Yeah, the basis of Scrum, I would say like the team members need to be like really energetic and motivated about what they are doing, and they should. That's why I said like they are pigs. Their stakes are at hold. If they don't deliver, like it may happen they don't get bread and butter the next month. So they are committed about it, but the chicken is not committed. Chicken will get bread and butter from somewhere else. Like he or she is only contributing eggs, right? But the chicken, the pig is contributing actually ham, it's flesh. Okay.
The thing is, Scrum is also possible for actual.
Like distributed team? It's a very good point. Actually, one of the major point of Scrum is like if the team is co-located, then you get 40% productivity out of it. But if the team is not co-located, what like you can do is like the team, the development team, if it is co-located, maybe the product owner is in somewhere else. It's a better choice. Like if you can do it like that. But if the full development team is distributed, you will lose productivity. Yeah.
We're out of time. Sorry. I used to repeat this pretty often in the last talk. I'm not doing this now. If you have more questions, go to www.sqbd.com and go to our mailing list and post your comments there. And Mozammel is going to be standing by to answer them, right? Not yet. Not yet. And so Mozammel will be there answering all your questions. You still want to ask? Okay. It has to be very short.
So actually, I was just when you have a distributed team, so in Scrum, they suggest actually you should be close with the Scrum Master, and you should be close with you the team. So in Scrum, you should have more Scrum Masters.
Thank you, Mozammel. Thank you.